to all of you. I think we are lagging behind of half an hour of time, and so we'd like to wrap up by 11:40 as it is scheduled. Uh, so one paper, the first paper will be, I think, through online, and the other paper, panelists, Dr. Snehasis Vardhan. So you can come to that, and also the other, DMNP Dasanayaka. Please. We'll start with the first presentation by Dr. Smriti and Professor Atish Parasar, and the topic is the impact of technocracy on journalistic freedom and human rights. I don't know whether they are ready for the presentation.
I will be joining in online mode. So.
She has joined. Dr. Smriti is there, right?
Yes.
And Professor Parasar is also there.
I have also sent my presentation on mail. I've sent my presentation on mail. I'm also sharing my screen.
Dr. Smriti, I would like to request you to conclude your presentation by 7 minutes time. Is it okay?
Yes, that would be fine.
Okay, sure. So there is a small technical glitch. So
can you just share my presentation over there?
Yeah, they are working on it. So we need a few minutes time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And after this presentation, there is the presentation from Dr. Snehasis Vardhan, and his topic is a study of changes faced by artificial intelligence in South Asian media sector. And the last presentation will be delivered by DMNP Dasanayake, and his topic is the impact of news reporting through mobile phone journalism in AI-powered era related to Sri Lanka. At the very outset, I would like to thank all the organizers, and more particularly the Director General of the Department of Government Information of the Ministry of Mass Media of Government of Sri Lanka, Mr. Bandara, and also I would like to thank the chairperson of this, the first Colombo International Media Research Symposium, Mr. Harsha B. Abhaivardhana. Abhaikun. I really would like to thank both of you and the academic coordinators of this program, of this symposium, Professor Dharmakirti Sriranjan, and also all other distinguished members from different universities associated with this organizing of this symposium. I would like to thank each and every one, and we will start this session.
Over there, my presentation. Can everybody see my screen?
Wait, not yet. Okay, just fill in the blank. I am taking this opportunity to share a few words from my side before going to start this session, because of this technical problem is going on. It will be resolved soon. We have, since the morning, we have been listening to different areas of the artificial intelligence and mass media, and more particularly on the journalism and media research. And as we all aware that there are different kinds of media that we have been using over the time, that nowadays the media convergence is very popular, and but all in the present moment, that everything, the buzzword is the artificial intelligence. And uh, long back in the prior to the print media came into existence, so there were a lot of traditional folk media we used, and for a long time, of course, traditional folk media is still used for more particularly the dissemination of the development messages through different development agencies. But the traditional folk media was considered that the oldest form of communication. Then we came to the print media, and at the same time, that after some time, print media, that visual form of communication also started with photography and moving images later on. The broadcast media became very popular for a few decades, and more particularly the radio broadcasting, and also later on television broadcasting. And in the radio broadcasting, again, we can categorize it, or television broadcasting also, with the public service broadcasting, private or commercial broadcasting, as well as with the community broadcasting. And after some time, when television was very popular among the viewers, then new media that Professor Sri Ranjan has mentioned about new media, or basically computer media and the social media came into existence, and it became very popular. But now, if we say from the beginning that traditional folk media, print media, broadcast or electronic media, and the new media, new and social media, but now the era is of artificial intelligence. It is not required you to create all the contents, but as my previous speaker has mentioned very clearly, that it is more important how we use the artificial intelligence ethically and transparently. That is very, very important. I would like to share a few things that it, not even a decade back, when the different print and the electronic media communication forms were very popular. During that time, that we always used to say that the media is at the crossroads. So media had a lot of problems. Media, we criticize more particularly by the media academics, that in different ways. One very renowned scholar in India is Dr. Paranjay Guhathakurata. He has mentioned once that media is all about 3 C's. So he referred more particularly with Indian perspective. He said that it is all about crime, cricket, and cinema. It is 3 C's in Indian media, but it is used in many other developing world, developing countries. Then there are another major problem is that it is not the dilemma. I would like to say that ethical trilemma. Okay, there are a few things. For example, accountability versus the hyper competition. So all the media houses, there are a hyper competition, that to the concept of breaking news became a kind of joke, that every news became breaking news in for last a few decades. On last decade, more particularly the last decade, that every news channel, and here the private news and current affairs channels are comparatively less numbers, but in a country like India, that where nearly 1,000 private television channels are there, and out of them, about 50% channels are of current affairs and news channels. So that hyper competition became a kind of very important concern during this time. Then another important thing is that crisis of journalism. It actually has a relationship with the AI as well. That crisis of journalism means that whether there is a proper journalism, how we get the news. there is a huge crisis of journalism and real journalism. The first-hand information from the grassroots and the first-hand information from the field. But that also became a kind of serious concern. Then another concern was that sensationalism, commitment, and social responsibility. So there were a lot of problems we faced in last one decade in the journalism, and the new concern is the use of artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence, as all of we are aware, that the computer cannot generate anything new from its own. So whatever is available in the websites, in the web, whatever is available, if I write something wrongly and publish a web page or a blog, that will also be that content can be taken for the artificial intelligence. In the research nowadays, it is more serious concern. If you type there in the research and if you write that, can you refer, for example, you got a reference of one of my article, okay, and if you type there in ChatGPT or any other platform, and if you ask that please generate the reference, then they can generate a fake book. That book is not in existence, but the AI can generate, okay, so and so wrote this book and it is published by this publication house, but it is not in existence. Basically, there are a lot of fake information can be given by the AI tools. So that is why it is very important that we have to think seriously, and there is a human intervention is required for all the AI contents. Misinformation, during the COVID time, we have gone through misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So it was like misinformation and fake news or fake information were viral over the social media platforms and new media platforms. That is the reason that we require the concept. I hope that all of you are aware about the digital humanism, and which deals with the digital facts, digital technology development and policies based on the human rights, democracy, and also the inclusivity and the diversity. So the digital humanism is a kind of very innovative area that where we can think of more research on this. With this note, I would like to invite, is it ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay.
If you would allow me, I'd start my presentation.
Okay. So with this note, I would like to invite the first presenter, Dr. Smriti, to speak on the impact of technocracy on journalistic freedom and human rights. And I would like to request again to confine your entire presentation with Miss, if you can conclude by 7 minutes time.
Sure, sir. Sure, I'll sure.
Okay. Please go ahead, Dr. Smriti.
So I'm here to present on the topic, the impact of technocracy on journalistic freedom and human rights, along with Professor Dr. Ratish Parashar, sir. He is professor at the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication and Media, Central University of South Bihar, and I am an assistant professor at the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Gopal Narayan Singh University, Sasaram, India. So let's start with it. Now, as already sir and before the speakers have dealt with the AI and algorithmic dominance over the journalism, I just first introduce my topic, that what exactly technocracy means. Technocracy in media. It actually refers to the governance and the management of media system through algorithms, AI and automation instead of human editorial decision making. The key features here basically are the personalization of news content, like we see on our web browsers, like whatever kind of news that you are watching on a regular basis, it appears on your web browser. The efficiency in content distribution is another key feature of technocracy and AI dominance. There is focus on engagement matrix like clicks and share, like the way whatever you are clicking on a daily basis on your social media and whatever content that you're sharing on your social media, according to that, you get a filtered search on your browser. Similarly, the core issue over here, what actually is the statement for the problem for this research paper, is the displacement of journalistic values like accuracy, public interest by profit-driven algorithms, and the ethical dilemma of prioritizing engagement over truth. The objective for this paper are exploring the ethical, societal, and democratic challenges posed by the technocratic media and the proposed actionable solutions to address these challenges. Let's just go to the historical context of AI and social media. Like during the pre-digital era, we saw that news was curated by human editors based on relevance, ethics, and public interest. And journalists prioritized investigative reports and factual accuracy. But with the digital transformation, this has changed. The rise of social media in the late 2000s had introduced algorithmic content curation. Platforms like Facebook and Twitter became primary news distributors. Now there has been a shift from newspapers and television to the social media. People resort to social media and browsers for news reading. And this has had a very grave impact on the journalistic freedom and the human right, the shift from human-centric to data-centric news curation. There has been a shift over there that we see from human-centric to data-centric. And there is also introduction of algorithms prioritizing virality, which I had talked earlier in the earlier slide, that how the algorithms and the AI is giving you a filtered search for your the kind of things that you're watching, the kind of things that you're liking and clicking. You're only getting news or searches based on that. Now, the role of algorithms. What exactly is the role of how it works? Let's go on that. Then they actually the algorithm is working by analyzing the user behavior, which depends on the likes, clicks, and shares, and it predicts and serves the content likely to keep users engaged. In media, we actually go through this theory of selective exposure and selective retention. All of us are media grads and we do have studied about it. So when you are liking something or you actually try to retain those things which you actually like to read or like to see on your web page. So the algorithm is also working like that. It is basically analyzing your likes, your clicks, your shares, and then giving you a filtered search for it. The algorithmic prioritization is emotional or sensational content often outranks factual reporting due to its higher engagement potentials. Like it is very much shifted to the user engagement and not to the relevance, the actual relevance of the news is not taken into consideration. Then the impact, quality journalism is prioritized due to this algorithmic dominance, and viral content dominates regardless of the credibility. There is no credibility left, as in, it is, we will go further in the slides where we will be discussing about the misinformation and the fake news patterns which has emerged with the social media outrage. And we have several, for this paper I have also done few case studies like the Facebook algorithm update during 2018. What changed was Facebook's algorithms started prioritizing meaningful interaction from friends and family over news outlets. The impact on the media, when we discuss over here, was that the quality journalism saw a sharp decline in visibility. Viral posts, clickbait, and emotionally charged content gained traction. If we go towards the statistics, the traffic to major news outlet decreased by up to 50%, affecting revenue and reach. The major news outlets had a decline and people were resorting more on the social media for news. Impact on journalistic freedom. Now, loss of editorial autonomy. With the coming in of algorithm and AI, there has been a loss in the editorial autonomy. Algorithms decide which content gets promoted, which is to be sidelined, which human there is no involvement of human editorial decisions over there, and this does impact the news value and the quality of news. The pressure on the newsroom is very different now, like the journalists face demand to produce content that aligns with algorithmic preferences. Investigative journalism and long-form content are deprioritized in the line, and consequences of this is that the news stories increasingly reflect what will the trend rather than what is in the public interest. The news and the journalism is following trend more than public interest in the present era. This is what we see. Censorship in the media. Now, censorship, algorithmic moderation, AI filters flag or suppress content deemed inappropriate but often lack context. For example, political commentary or satire mistaken for misinformation, activist content labeled as controversial and deprioritized are and the consequence is that the critical journalism is at risk, limiting public access to important narratives. Now, when we talk about, like I earlier said, that we'd be talking about rise of misinformation, and algorithmic amplification has led to sensational and misleading content spreads faster than factual news due to higher engagement. It is all on the basis of engagement that we are judging. And the key examples for it I've given over here: the anti-vaccine narrative during the COVID-19, that if you take a particular COVID-19 vaccine, you will get heart attacks, and such misinformation that were spread among the public had really created a lot of chaos among the different countries and different parts of the world. Now, this has got a grave impact on the public, such as the trust in credible journalism is diminishing with time. Society has become more polarized because of this.
Dr. Smriti, can you
The
please
impact on
conclude?
public trust. We have already dealt with this, that erosion. Audience are exposed to biased and false narratives, reducing confidence in reliable sources. Reinforced echo chambers, personalized feed reinforce existing beliefs, limiting exposure. The statistics have revealed that the trust in media has dropped from 47% in 2018 to 38% in 2022 globally. And as the topics had to deal with human rights, extensive data collection by platforms compromise user privacy. There's no user privacy. Time and again, we have come across news which says that we have no user privacy on social media platforms and all over the internet. Risk for journalists in repressive regimes include surveillance and targeted attacks. There are journalists are getting attacked because there is no security for that purpose. There's no security for their information. Freedom of expression is curtailed. Critical voices and dissenting opinions are often suppressed under opaque and moderation rules. The right to information.
Dr. Smriti, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you please conclude?
I'll be going to the concluding slide for that matter. So we have already dealt with the COVID-19 information problem, which was there. I'll just deal with this proposed solution. How could we overcome this? Algorithmic transparency could be maintained, like publicly disclosing how algorithms are prioritizing content, and collaborative oversighting then how can we strengthen the ethical journalism, human oversight, we can ensure a balance between automation and human editorial judgments, training programs, we can equip journalists to work effectively within the algorithm. Journalists are not trained enough to work within the algorithmic driven system, because this is a new thing and we need to prioritize it. We need to give them efficient training for that. And we can encourage diverse news ecosystems, like supporting the mechanism, promote local and independent journalism, and offer incentive for diverse this thing. And future directions for this could be a balanced innovation, like combining technological advances with ethical journalism practices, empower audiences. Role of government could be here, that they can develop an enforceable standard for media platforms and shift focus to serving democratic values, not just profitably. And I conclude by saying that the technocracy brings significant benefits through its efficiency and innovation, yet it poses a risk to democratic principles by concentrating decision-making power in the hands of experts and technocrats. The call to action could be that the stakeholders across society, governments, technology leaders, and civil societies must work together to establish ethical, balanced governance of media and technology to preserve democratic values while harnessing technological advancement. With this, I thank CMISR to letting me present my paper over here for the first Colombo International Media Symposium. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smriti and Professor Atish Parasar for their presentation, and it is very nicely elaborated with the case studies on the impact of journalistic freedom and Facebook algorithm updates, how it works, and also how the theory of selective exposure and selective retention is used in the many time, and how it has basically converted from the human-centric data to the human-centric journalism to data-centric journalism in the past few years. Thank you so much, Dr. Smriti. Now I would like to request Dr. Snehasis